YouTube, it's Becky from Becky Writes. This is Becky Reads, and this is my birthday book haul. Now, my birthday was the end of February, and I turned 31, and so what does your family give you when you are in your 30s and you don't own a house or have kids and you live on the other side of the country? They send you money. So because I love all the books, and because I'm an adult and use some of that money to buy my AAA insurance for the year, yes, hello adulting, I'm going to show you all the books that I purchased around the time of my birthday, for my birthday, with birthday money. There's a stack of them, so we should just get started. The first two books I'm going to mention are books that I pre-ordered at the beginning of February. They're both February releases, they're both highly anticipated, and I was really excited about them, so they were sort of preemptive birthday buys. The first one is Wintersong by S. Jae-Jones. This came out in early February, and this is a retelling of Labyrinth. I have not read this yet, although I keep saying I'm going to read it. It keeps appearing on TBRs. I have heard mixed reviews about it, but it is a retelling of the film The Labyrinth story, but it takes place in 19th century Germany, I do believe, and I am quite curious. I pre-ordered it from Book Depository. I love this cover. Happy birthday to me. My second pre-order is A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. I did pre-order the paperback copy from Book Depository because I prefer paperbacks. However, I really do like the American covers better than the British covers, but I have this one. Now, have I started the trilogy yet? No. Do I own the entire trilogy now? Yes. So I should probably get on that. So then on my actual birthday, a colleague and dear friend of mine gave me a gift certificate to Barnes & Noble. I'm also a member at Barnes & Noble, so I had a discount code and I was able to get 3 books for a very, very good price because of that. The first one was Lincoln in the Bardo by George Saunders. This I've already done a spoiler-free review, so I will make sure that is linked down below. This is a historical fiction, literary fiction, magical realism story that's quite odd. If you've seen my review, you know it's a strange book. But basically it's a story of Abraham Lincoln spending the night that his son Willie is sort of laid to rest in a mausoleum before he's buried in the ground, and it's told from the perspectives of all of the spirits that are living in the graveyard. It's a little odd, but I liked it. I gave this 5 stars, so now I have a hardback copy. The next book I got from Barnes & Noble is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This is a super hyped book. This has been all over BookTube. It's been all over the book world. So I'm very excited to eventually get to this book. It's going to be a little while before I am emotionally ready to read this, as I've had a couple of deaths in my life recently and I'm not ready to read about them in a novel form. But this is the story of a young girl named Star, I believe, who goes to a mostly white prep school but is from the ghetto of her community. And then one day when she's in a car coming back from a party with a neighborhood friend, that neighborhood friend is shot by police, and so she is the only witness, and she is going between the two worlds, the worlds of the white perspective on the shooting and the world of the African American perspective on the shooting. And this has just been getting so much positive feedback, and I really want to read it. So eventually, when my heart is a little bit in a better place, I will be picking up The Hate You Give. And my final Barnes & Noble buy for my birthday was The Breakout Novelist by Donald Maas. I've already read about 2/3 of this, and it has been really great in helping me think about my own novel projects. I really, really enjoyed this. I'm a part of a writers group on Facebook, and this is one of 4 books that they recommended to me, and so this is the one that I picked up, and I'm really excited to continue with it and to apply some of the exercises. It is not a workbook, but it does help you think about character development, it helps you think about stakes, it helps you think about pacing, and just kind of basically says, if you don't do this stuff, you're going to have a meh book. And if you do start thinking about these elements, your book is going to really shine. So this has helped me put a lot of things into perspective, and I'm really enjoying it. Along those same lines, I ordered a book from Amazon, and that was Editor Proof Your Writing. This is by Dawn McNair. This is another one of the books that my writing group recommended for me. This is one that one of the leaders of my writing group absolutely swears by. Okay, so then I went on a trip to Seattle, and I just got back from that. I went on the trip for sad reasons. I had to go to a funeral, but I was able to blend in some happy silver linings with those sad moments. I got to meet Denise from Denise Marie. Here is a picture where we were real life friends. I'm a real life person. It was very cool. And we went to Elliott Bay Books. Elliott Bay Books is famous in Seattle for being a good local bookshop. It was big and cool and had all kinds of things. And I picked up 2 things from there. One was a book that I knew I wanted to buy, and one was one I stumbled upon, and those are my favorites. So I picked up volume 5 for the Lumberjanes. I knew I was going to buy this. This is the only comic book series I'm currently keeping up with as they come out, and I've been wanting to get this one, so I had to get it, and I figured support a local bookstore while I'm getting it. Now, one of the reasons I really enjoy local bookstores is that because they have end caps, or they will have books on display in their shelving, and they will have little notes about why different people in a bookstore like a book. And that was how I discovered Conflict Resolution for Holy Beings, Poems by Joy Harjo. First of all, this cover. And Joy Harjo, who I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, she is a Muskogee Creek Indian woman. She's a part of the Muskogee Creek Indian Nation. I'm from Georgia and Alabama, which is the original homeland of the Creek Indians as a whole, but the Muskogee tribe in particular, so I have a more knowledge than the average American about this particular tribe. I did not know that when I picked up this book. She's also a musician, and there's a beautiful lyrical quality about these poems. I've already read some of them. There's a whole theme and meditation on jazz and the Native American experience. I also was on Mercer Island, and I went to the Island Books. I spent some time there wandering around their cute little bookshop, and they too had some books on display. I got 4 books, 2 for me and 2 that I'm going to be giving away. Now, the first is one of the books I'm giving away. It's Count to Sleep Seattle. This is just really cute. It has different things that are well known about the city, right? And you just sort of count them. This is a board book for children. I have a niece who's turning 1 in May, and when her brother was a baby, I got him Count to Sleep San Francisco, and so I am getting her Count to Sleep Seattle, because what do aunts do if they don't buy you cute books when they travel? I also have a goddaughter that's turning 3 in April, and I will be back east for her birthday, and so I got her Hooray for today, and it's about a little owl who wants to stay up all night the night before his birthday and is just really excited. I loved the colors of this. I thought the book was really sweet. I always get my baby's books and then a little something else, so this is the book I will be getting for her. Also, at the Island Bookshop, they had some books on display. This one was in the adult science fiction fantasy section, and it had a little card that said, if you liked A Discovery of Witches, you will like The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. I have never heard of this. I have never seen it on BookTube. It's never come across any of the book bloggers that I follow. I've never heard of her. I've never heard of this. But apparently it's a world in which there is a shadow library group that steals special books away from people, like books of magic or sorcery or whatever that could fall into the wrong hands, and our main character in this book is one of those thieves, but things go horribly wrong while she's searching for a book. I'm excited. I think from what I've picked up, the books are episodic rather than one arching narrative, so I think it's going to be like a series of however many books rather than like a trilogy or a quartet or something, but I don't know if that's true. But magic and libraries and spies is what I'm here for, and it was recommended by people who like A Discovery of Witches, so sign me up. And they also had on an end cap display recent favorites, and one of them was The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. Now, this is a book I already knew I was going to want to buy because I really enjoyed everything, although I don't tend to read young adult contemporary like at all. That is not my normal genre, but I really enjoyed Nicola Yoon herself, and both an end cap display plus an in-person person talked to me about how much they loved this book. Like, there were just so many things that said, pick this one up, pick this one up. Also, look at this cover. I just love this cover so much. So I was like, well, it's my birthday. I can spend my money however I want. I can support a local bookstore and support an author I like. Win. Then I went to visit a friend of mine who lives north of Seattle. He's a teacher, so Monday while he was at work, I had a couple of hours before I had to head back to the city in order to like drop off my car and catch a plane. So I went to Edmonds, which is on the Puget Sound. It's a cute town. If you guys live in the Washington area, so cute. I was in love with it and would like move there tomorrow. There's a store called Other Worlds, which has like steampunk clothes and board games and also lots of books, some new and some used. I happened to spy Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. Now, I've never read this. I've heard good things. I am not in love with this mass market paperback, but Lies of Loch Lamora is a book I'm either going to really love or really dislike, I think, because it is focused on boys. It's like Oliver Twist but with magic is what I've heard it described as, and I could either really love that or it would really irritate me. So I did get a used copy. If I find I love it and I'm going to continue with the series, I'll invest in a nicer copy. And the final bookstore I went to was also in Edmonds. I think it was just called the Edmonds Bookshop, and I bought a handful of books there. The first one is also a gift to someone else, and it's a field guide to Redheads by Elizabeth Garaber, and they have different famous redheads throughout history. I just loved the art of this, and a really good friend of mine is a redhead, and she has a birthday in the summer, but this might be an early birthday present for her. Then I purchased 4 used books from that bookshop, which had new and used. The first one was In the Shadow of the Banyon. This is by Veddey Ratner, I think is how I pronounce her name. She is originally from Cambodia and is telling the story basically of a young girl whose father disappears because of the Khmer Rouge and what her experiences is like until her family flees Cambodia. Now, I lived in Cambodia, and if I had not lived there, I would never have picked this up because this is probably gonna kick me in the feels. But I lived there, I know about the Khmer Rouge, I've been to the killing fields, I know the people, and this just sounds like something that will be beautiful and heart-wrenching and hard, but also worthy of a read. Along the lines of books that I picked up that are not normally in my comfort zone, I picked up A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Backman. This one has been getting a lot of buzz, and Frederick Backman in general has been getting a lot of buzz. I know that Connor O'Brien said that he loved this. I think Max from Well-Done Books has said that he loved this. The movie or mini-series of this was nominated for an Academy Award, and it just seems like a really warm kind of cozy book, which is not what I normally read, but sometimes you want that, and with me writing as much as I am, a book that I don't have to like race through, if it doesn't have as much action where I can really just read 20 pages a night, is kind of something I need right now. So I picked up this one to see how I feel. I also picked up Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafon. This one has been recommended to me by many, many, many people. It's sort of a magical realism, and I know that the plot is that a young man is told to pick a book as a child, and it's the book he has to protect, and then as a young man, the book starts disappearing and he has to figure out what's happening. This is a book in translation from the Spanish. It's one that I do want to pick up. I do think I will love it because books and magic, again, books and magic. Come on, people. I am trash for anything with books and anything with magic. And the final book that I bought for myself is People of the Book by Geraldine Brooks. This has been recommended to me by a couple of different people, and again, it's right up my alley. It's about a book conservationist who goes into Sarajevo to help preserve the Sarajevo Haggadah. This book is gonna have its own kind of magic without being about actual magic, so I'm really curious. It's a book about the history of the books and the people who own books, and I bought a used copy, which I felt was particularly apropos, considering. Okay, friends, that was all the books that I bought. This is most of the books. Okay. That's too many. I cannot pick them all up, but that's all the books that I got for my birthday book haul. Comment down below and let me know if you have read any of these. I would love to know what your thoughts are and if there are some that you think I should really, really jump into. This will probably be my last book haul for a while because money, and also I have lots of books now I need to read before I add more to my shelves. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys have new books that you're excited about, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye!